story-driven cartoons aren't anything new. However, one could argue we have a newer version in recent cartoons. Adventure Time, Gravity Falls, Star vs. Force of Evil, and of course Steven Universe have begun to create the perfect marriage between slice of life, the standard episodic cartoons we were used to these networks putting out growing up in my generation, with the more intense, twisty-turny adventure-type storytelling that before we would only find in solely half-hour animated series, and, to get a little bit more niche, anime. Because of this, a lot of fans of a lot of these shows, they aren't looking for that perfect marriage. They just want the juicy meat of it all. Thus, anything episodic or not really game-changing is often considered filler. Now, I'm one of those people that argues there is no filler in these cartoons, as the term filler initially started for anime adapted from manga. In order to not catch up with the manga, they would pad episodes out as much as they could, often adding additional content, filler, to accomplish such a thing. Before cartoons, just because our theory fuel isn't being quenched, and a show is embracing its episodic half, having characters learn a lesson, or just having fun, filler cannot technically exist. However, if you're rewatching a show or just trying to catch up to a fandom in time, I can see where the need to cut episodes arrive. So with Steven Universe the movie right around the corner, or for any fans who may start at the movie and may want to watch all the way through for season 6, what are the episodes you should watch and which episodes are filler? Where we're going to go through all 160 episodes today to figure out which ones are essential and which ones are, as much as I hate to say it, filler. So we're going to do just that, today on Crystal Clear. Welcome back to Crystal Clear, I'm Electric Vox, and let's get things started with Season 1, starting at Gem Glow. The first episode of the series introduces many of the essential characters for the very first time, alongside their weapons and Steven's emotions, and a hint at how all of those correlate with his powers. This episode is essential viewing. Laser Light Cannon. The thread of the episode, the Red Eye, is actually sent by Homeworld to scan for other gems. Not to mention, the Laser Light Cannon is a weapon that doesn't just subside. It makes an appearance after this. Essential. Cheeseburger Backpack. We see Steven's first Crystal Gem mission, and along the Lunar Sea Spire accompanies some lore. Essential. Together Breakfast. Well, the Together Breakfast is iconic, and we explore more of the temple. Essential. Frybo. Alright, while I really do enjoy PD's character, I can't say he'll be a major player in the rest of the overarching story, as Season 5 was the end of the original outline. And while gem shards are introduced in this episode, they're fundamentally different from how they behave in the latter half of Season 1 and onwards. It's nightmare fuel, it has funny moments, but it falls under filler. Ooh, first victim. Cat Fingers. This dives into the shapeshifting abilities all gems carry and how Steven has shapeshifting of his own. Essential. Bubble Buddies. This episode introduces Connie, who's a major player. Essential. Serious Steven. This involves Steven trying to prove himself to the gems, and some tidbits of lore here and there. Honestly, it could go either way, but I feel it leans more towards essential. Tiger Millionaire. While I'm aware the episodes involving townies are going to fall under filler for most fans, that's not always the case. Purple Puma is the first step in unraveling Amethyst's development, and for that, I would say this is essential. Number 10, Steven's Lion, which of course introduces Lion, does a bit of world building, and with Lion comes more questions about Rose Quartz. Essential. Arcade Mania. While it is the first time we see Garnet's three eyes, I feel as if their appearance in Mirror Gem would also work as a first time seeing them if you skip this episode, because really, while the enemy of the episode is fun, you're not gonna be feeling any sorts of loss about this one. If you're watching for the plot, it's filler. Giant Woman. Opal Fusion, yes! Essential. So many birthdays. This begins to dive into Steven's aging dilemma, which, as you could probably tell by the time skip, is crucial to his development. Essential. Lars and the Cool Kids. Lars becomes a much bigger character, and we learn more about Rose Quartz. Essential. Onion Trade. This episode introduces some early season concepts that don't really appear later on, so unless you're down for Fury of Great Laughs, because the comedy in this episode is top notch, or maybe more accurately get confused by Onion, check out this one. Otherwise, it's filler. 16, Steven the Sword Fighter. This touches on gem regeneration. Essential. Lion 2 the movie. It's a Lion episode. Essential. Beach Party. This is one of the first, and honestly one of the only few human-gem interactions in a big way, which gives bigger payoff when the gems and humans begin to mingle a bit more. Essential. 19, Rose's Room. Rose Quartz. Essential. Coach Steven. Come on, Sugalite, Nicki Minaj. Essential. Joking Victim. Lars development, but I feel like you can still get a good understanding of the character without this one. Filler. Steven and the Stevens. While time travel is an odd concept, there is some interesting lore and world building here, and Steven also kind of dies, so essential? Monster buddies. We learn more about corrupted gems, and Steven forms his friendship with Centipedal. Essential. An indirect kiss. Steven's healing powers? Essential. Mirror gem. Lapis Lazuli? The true plot begins to unfold? Guys, the prologue is over. Essential. Ocean gem. Continues the story of Lapis Lazuli, and we learn the truth about corrupted gems. Essential. House guest. This shows how Steven's emotions can heavily affect his powers, and that's an important understanding to have for later on. Essential. Space race. Pro development with some homeroll teases. Essential. Secret team. This kind of reintroduces gem shards in the way they appear later on in a much bigger role. Essential. Island Adventure. Now this is why I say Joking Vision can be skipped. It's peak LARS Sensei development while also introducing a significant location. Essential. Keep Beat City weird. Listen, Ronaldo's crazy, but when he's right, he's right. Essential. Fusion cuisine. Steven and Connie development, which I think is important development as it touches on Steven's family dynamic, and we get to see Alexandrite. Essential. Garnet universe. Garnet just has fun telling Steven a story. I really love this episode, but I gotta say, if you're looking just for plot, filler. Watermelon Steven. This goes into Steven's powers, and the Watermelon Stevens have a bigger role later on. Essential. Line 3, straight to video. Line means Rose Quartz. Essential. Alone together. Stevani. Essential. Warp Tour. Peridot. Essential. The Test. For Steven's development, you could not find a more important episode, at least for this part of the story. Essential. Future Vision. Well, Garnet's future vision is a plot point that's essential. On the Run. Huge amethyst development that leads into lore and world building. Essential. Horror Club. I think this is really beautiful Lars and Ronaldo development, especially when you look at it in the grand scheme of things. Essential. Winter Forecast. It plays more future vision, but it's really just about Steven being responsible. I think that's important, but you won't find yourself scratching your heads if you skip this one. Filler. Maximum Capacity. Huge Amethyst and Greg development. Essential. Marble Madness. Huge plot developments that last until season 4. Essential. Rose's Scabbard. Huge pro development. Essential. Open book. The first time I was watching Steven Universe, I actually missed this episode by mistake. It goes into a bit more of Rose's room, teases more Steven and Connie romance, but you won't be lost if you miss this one. Filler. Shirt Club. I truly think this is one of the funniest scenes in the series with the t-shirt cannon, just because the juxtaposition of it all to the show itself. But beyond that, filler. Say Uncle. Listen. They say this is non-canon, but it's only after this episode that Steven can summon his shield at any time. I know some people are gonna be pissed off, but essential. Story for Steven. Flashback episode? Essential. The Message. Important plot. Essential. Political power. It's a part of an arc started by the last one. Essential. The Return? Yeah. Essential. Jailbreak? Stronger Than You is in it. Of course it's essential. Full disclosure, really takes a moment to look at Steven's mental state. Essential. Joyride. This really puts into scope Steven's situation compared to, everyone else. Essential. Love Letters. This one's more leaning essential, just because Jamie's crush on Garnet does get mentioned in plot episodes from here on out, and it's also the reason why Jamie is sitting where he is in the second opening. Essential. Reformed. This dives a bit more into gem reformations, alongside Amethyst development. Essential. Sworn to the Sword. Connie's development into becoming a crystal gem. Essential. Rising Tide, Crashing Skies. This is where they begin to have just complete fun with episodes. I don't have a problem with it, and you're not missing anything besides some season 4 foreshadowing with the zoo. Filler. Keeping it together. This brings back gem shards and begins to set up the cluster arc. Essential. We need to talk. Flashback. Essential. Chile Ted. Lapis. Jasper. Malachite. Steven Powers. Essential. Cry for Help. This begins the Sardonyx arc. Essential. Keystone Motel. Ruby. Sapphire. Essential. Onion Friend. This is a regular episode for the arc, but I think it's really important to take a look at Amethyst's mental state. Essential. Historical Friction. It's fun, but you can miss it. Friendship. Major episode that also resolves the Sardonyx arc. Essential.
What are you doing out of bed? Why aren't you with Dr. Stronger?
It's not a patient.
Essential. Sadie Song. Great Sadie development, and it comes back into play later per band. Plus, haven't you noticed that my star pops up a bit more in the show? I'm gonna say essential. Episode 70, Catch and Release. Tiny Peridot? Essential. When It Rains. Well, Catch and Release is really the barn arc, so I'm just gonna tell you guys if these next ones are essential or not, which this one is. Back to the barn? Essential. Too far? Essential. The answer? Essential. Steven's birthday? Essential. It could have been great. Essential. Message received? Essential. Log date 7/15/2? Essential. Super Watermelon Island? Essential. Gem Drill? Essential. Same old world? Well, the aforementioned barn arc or cluster arc is over, but we're still at the barn for a bit longer, and now Lapis is back in the fray. Essential. Barn mates? Picking up from that note, essential. Which means, of course, hit the diamond? Essential. Steven floats. Barn arc is over, Steven is back home, and he has new power. Essential. Drop beat dad. This goes to Mr. Greg and brings back Marty. Also, the end of this episode makes Greg rich. Essential. Mr. Greg. It's musically essential. Too short to ride. Important Paradox development and lore. Essential. The new LARS. New Steven powers and LARS development that really changes his behavior in following episodes. Even if it's ever so slightly more and more, LARS really does begin to change after this episode. Beat City Drift. Stavani? Essential. Restaurant Wars. I like it, but it's shenanigans. Filler. Kiki's Pizza Delivery Service. This is development on Steven's powers. Essential. Monster Reunion. Centipedal, Flashback, Gem War, Essential. Alone at Sea, Lapis and Jasper, Essential. Greg the Babysitter, Flashback, Essential. Gem Hunt, Jasper! Crack the Whip. Jasper Arc, Essential. Steven vs. Amethyst, Essential. Bismuth? Oh, of course it's essential. It's some serious bismuth. Beta, Essential. Earthlings, Essential. Good night, sweet prince. Back to the moon. Essential. Bubbled. Essential. Kindergarten Kid. I know a lot of people may have mixed feelings on this, but Paradox Bubble's a gem, and there is great development and perspective for the corrupted gems. Essential. Know Your Fusion? Smoky Quartz development? Essential. Buddy's Book. This introduces, well, Buddy's Book, which becomes a major player very soon. Essential. Mindful Education. Amazing, powerful development, and some of the best animation in the series. Essential. Future Boy Zoltron. I like Mr. Smiley's and Mr. Funny's romance, but aside from that, I can't really say it goes anywhere. It leans essential, but this is one of those where you could take it or leave it. Last one out of Beach City. Pearl's development in this episode is very significant and reflects her current reformation in the series at the time of recording this. Essential. Onion Gang. I love Onion, I love his friends, but this one's filler. Gem Harvest. Introduces Uncle Andy, and I think it has some really important development for Steven. Essential. 3 gems and a baby. Flashback. Essential. Steven's Dream. This begins the zoo arc, introduces Blue Diamond. Of course, it's essential. Adventures of Light Distortion? Essential. Gem Heist? Essential. The Zoo? Essential. That Will Be All? Essential. The New Crystal Gems. I think this has some good development for Paradox, Connie, and Lapis, but it does show Steven coming back to Earth. Essential. Storm in the Room. Steven development. His feelings on Rose Quartz, Essential. Rockinaudo. Honestly, I think this episode's pretty funny, but you're not gonna get much out of it for the overarching story. Filler. Tiger Philanthropist. Amethyst development, Essential. Room for Ruby. Advances the plot while fleshing out Steven, Paradox, and Lapis all at the same time. Essential. Line 4. Alternate ending. A Lion episode. Essential. Dugout. This really starts to end arc for season 4, even if people think it's uneventful. Essential. The Good LARS. Essential. Are You My Dad? Essential. I Am My Mom. Steven surrenders himself as Rose Quartz. Essential. Stuck Together. Continues this arc while also starting a new one. Essential. The Trial. Steven comes face to face with the diamonds for the very first time. Essential. Off Colors. Essential. Lars' Head. Essential. Dewey wins. I know this one really isn't eventful, but it begins some major status quo changes. Essential. Gemcation. Steven development. Essential. Raising the Barn. Lapis leaves. Essential. Back to the Kindergarten. Amethyst, Steven, and Paradox development. Essential. Sadie Killer. Sadie development that pops back up and change your mind. Essential. Kevin Party. Steven and Connie make amends. Essential. Lars of the Stars. Lars becomes a space pirate. Essential. Jungle Moon. Oh, essential. Your mother and mine. It leans essential, even though all of it's a lie. We see the corruption attack. That actually happened. So yeah, essential. The Big Show. Joan Jett's in it. It leans more to filler. Pool hopping. Garnet development in a season where Garnet is very important. Essential. Letters to Lars. Plants the seeds for things that are about to happen. Essential. Can't go back. See? What'd I tell ya? Single Pale Rose. Well, the cat's out of the bag with this one. Essential. Now we're only falling apart. Actually, let's just make this easy. Essential. double essential, really essential, essential. I don't care if you didn't like escapism, it's still essential. And of course, change your mind, essential. So yeah, there you have it. This was not to make a point that not that many episodes were filler, but kind of panned out that way. Funny how that works. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree with this list? Let us know in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts at Roundtable Vids. And for more of my own thoughts, you can find me at Fox. We're also on Instagram. Help Roundtable grow by either becoming a member of this channel or support us over at Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. Fox signing out.